Welcome back, everyone. This is Knowing God by J.I. Packer. Today we're covering chapter 21, These Inward Trials. In the beginning of his book, Packer is asking these questions for us. It says, a ministry that magnifies grace but achieves an opposite effect. It scales down the problem of sin and loses touch with the purpose of God. His question, what kind of ministry is this? Unfortunately, the answer is an evangelical ministry in today's world. To elaborate this point further, Packer also discussed the sound doctrine. Understanding is one thing, and applying is completely different. Because even if you have a proper understanding, accurately and properly applying the sound doctrine can or cannot or may not happen often. So he gave us these two examples. One group may overemphasize the hope. The other group may overemphasize the fear factor. So this group one is emphasizing the grace of God. His grace is upon you, so you don't have to do anything. You don't need to change anything. You are okay as who you are. The other group is emphasizing the fear, the judgment. So if you don't do the things right, then you will be punished, as if everything is upon our hands. So what is grace then? Packer explained this way. God's love in action toward the people who merited the opposite of love, meaning the people who don't deserve to be loved by God, somehow God decided to love them. He also elaborated two aspects of grace, will of grace and the work of grace. If you take a look at Philippians chapter 1 verse 6, the good works is started by God and will be completed by God as well. Packer provides another insight here by saying the primary purpose of grace is to restore our relationship with God. If you remember the concept from the Old Testament, the broken relationship between God and us, it is restored through His grace. That shalom, the true peace, the restoration takes place through His grace. How does God accomplish this? By having us, training us to learn how to rely on Him instead of relying on our own ability or intelligence. This is the secret of godly life, and he said this way, to wait on the Lord instead of taking our own action. And let me share some verses for you for your further study. The first one is from Ephesians chapter 2. It says, for by grace you have been saved through faith, and this is not your own doing. It is the gift of God, not a result of works, so that no one may boast. Based on this, the faith that we are enjoying, or salvation, is from God. Because He saved us through the faith that He gave us. This is His gift. So we cannot boast about whatever happened to us. But does that mean that we can be lazy and do not do anything for our salvation or our sanctification? No, that's not what it means. If you look at Philippians chapter 2, verse 12 through 13, it says this, therefore, my beloved, work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. We have our own role as well. We're not earning our salvation. We're not improving our salvation, but we rely on God, for it is God who works in you, and have Him work through us so we can go through this sanctification, glorification process, both to will and to work for His good pleasure. Remember, Packer also mentioned about the secret of godly life is to wait on God, for Him to work in you and through you. So you have to be obedient to God's instruction. As a conclusion, we must learn to be realistic about God and about ourselves. It's not about us. It's all about God, and He's the one who gives us instruction about our lives. How do we know what to do and where to go? It has to be biblically realistic, meaning we have to delve into the Word of God again and again on a daily basis, and we can grow spiritually through the Word of God with the prayer. May God bless you, and happy Bible studies, everyone.